the ADIDAS ADIZERO ADIOS PRO 2. When I first took this shoe for a run, I wasn't that sure what I made of it. It was extremely fun, extremely responsive. The foam just felt so good underfoot, but there were a few issues that I had with it that meant that I wasn't too sure what I thought of this shoe overall. I've now taken this shoe to 72 plus miles. It's time for the full review of this beautiful looking shoe. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It is me, Running Man Sam. If you guys don't know me, I'm basically just a lover of shoes, a lover of running, a lover of all things fitness, a 90 kilogram plus running guy that's into weight training and boxing, but also into running, as I said, and extreme addiction to running shoes. So today we have got in my hand the ADIDAS ADIZERO ADIOS Pro 2. I've already done an initial review on this shoe, which you can see just over there. That's just where I take it for its first run and put together just my first thoughts on the shoe after that run. 72 miles in this shoe. I normally do a full review at 40 miles. So plenty of miles in this shoe now to put together my full thoughts for you guys. Scoring it comprehensively across the upper, the midsole, the outsole, fit for purpose, fun factor, value, stats, all those kind of good stuff is coming. If you're watching this video today and you're enjoying it, please hit that like. It really does help this channel grow. And if you are a regular to this channel, or if you are new to this channel, please continue to show your support by hitting that like button. It really does help. And if you are one of those newbies today and you're enjoying this channel for whatever reason, then please consider subscribing and helping this channel grow. Let's start off with some of the stats and statistics and get into a little bit more of the details along the way. So in terms of stack height, this is just for the stated size on the website. So it's normally like a 9 or an 8. We've got 39.5 millimeters of foam in the back and 29.5 millimeters of foam in the front. So it's just about legal. Obviously in my size 11 UK, it's going to be higher than 39.5 because obviously it goes up incrementally as the sizes increase. But I'm not really quite sure where exactly we measure it from here and here, so I don't want to give any false readings. So I just stipulate the stack height to be from what the websites state. In terms of weight, this shoe in my size is coming in at 265 kilograms. Now that's pretty heavy in terms of a racing shoe, carbon plate racing shoe. My vaporfly in a size 11 weighs 230, so that's just about 30 odd grams more. It's not really important for me, weight at all. Some people do get really caught up on weight, and that's absolutely fine if weight's important to you. Being a heavier lump, I don't really notice a difference, and where this foam is super responsive, it doesn't make a difference to me at all. But we will score the weight just for those people that are interested in how much a shoe weighs. So given the fact that it's one of the heavier carbon plate racing shoes, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 in terms of weight. Comes in at £180, which is a little bit more than its predecessor, the ADIDAS ADIZERO ADIOS Pro 1, but still far cheaper than the likes of the New Balance RC Elite 2, the Vaporfly, the Alphafly, all those kind of shoes, and it's still an awesomely good performing shoe. So £180, I think this is, you know, it's not a cheap shoe, so don't get me wrong, I'm not saying £180 is cheap and it's easy to afford. It's definitely not. It's still expensive, but much more attainable than some of the Nike shoes and ASIC shoes and things like that with the carbon plates in them. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 in terms of value. So in terms of the upper, we're just going to be scoring it on plushness, breathability, fit of the shoe, basically like whether it's true to size and how it fits when it's on your foot, the lockdown, the scoring it on the tongue, and how durable I think the upper is going to be. So we're going to start off with plushness. So as I say, when I'm talking about plushness, I just mean when the upper is against your foot, does it feel coarse? Does it feel uncomfortable? Does it feel really soft and really nice? And all those kind of things. And it's somewhere in the middle. We're going to give this a 3 out of 5 in terms of plushness. It's definitely not coarse at all. It's not a coarse material, this Silla mesh. And it does feel quite nice on your foot. In terms of breathability, this is a very breathable upper. It doesn't have what looks to be like loads of holes and perforations like you see in some of the other carbon plate racing shoes. But in every run I've done on this shoe, I've never found it to run really hot or anything like that. The Silla mesh is a breathable material. And I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 in terms of breathability. In terms of the fit, now this is where I've got a slight bit of an issue with the shoe. Normally Adidas in the UK seem to run half a size small. So the Adidas Adios 6, I went 11.5 UK, whereas I'd normally go 11 UK. With this shoe, I went size 11 because I remember the Adidas Adios Pro 1 running a little bit big. Again, we've got a similar thing going on here. So this is a size 11. And I think I've got, my foot sort of comes to about here on it. So I've definitely got too much room for me in this shoe. And I think that might maybe be part of the issue as to why some of the things I'm going to bring up a little bit later on have become a little bit of an issue, but I wouldn't really know without trying it half a size down. 3 out of 5 in terms of fit, basically because I think it's not true to size, and because I think once this is on your foot, although it does feel nice against your foot, it can sometimes for me feel a little bit sloppy. It's not necessarily the most locked in feel that I've ever had, which does bring us down onto the lockdown. When I'm talking about lockdown, I'm talking about things like when you pull the laces in and the heel lockdown and how the tongue sits on your foot, all that sort of stuff, how it keeps your foot feeling there nice and secure. So the biggest bugbear I had with this shoe, apart from the cutout, when I first got it, was the laces. Now I had to take all these laces out and relace them because I was finding, and I think a few other people were finding too, that when I was trying to pull these laces in and to try and get a little bit more attention on the laces a little bit further down the eyelet here, they wasn't really moving at all, and it was only just literally tightening the top chain here. I do have a little bit of padding around here for a lockdown and a little bit of rigidity here, but not very much at all. It locks down okay. It's not anything special. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 in terms of lockdown because, as I said, it keeps your foot in there nicely. Once you've adjusted the laces, it's not too bad. In terms of tongue, we're just talking about whether the tongue feels comfortable against your foot, and again how much lockdown it gives you. We've moved away from a gusseted tongue here, so it's just free tongue that just moves about like this. I'll give this a 3 out of 5. I preferred it when it was gusseted. It was a little bit more padded last time as well, but no real issues, no rubbing from the tongue or anything like that. In terms of durability of the upper, we're just talking about how long we think it's going to last based on how well it's made, any sort of signs of wear and tear that we're seeing at the moment. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 in terms of the upper. It does seem to be well built. It seems to be very sturdy. I'm not seeing signs of any wear or anything like that in the upper at all at the moment. Onto the midsole, which is my favourite part of the shoe. Now don't call me the midsole maniac for nothing. That's because I just love thinking about how the midsole feels when it's hitting the ground and propelling you up into the air. So we're going to talk about responsiveness. This is a carbon plate racing shoe. It is a world record breaking shoe. So responsiveness is what this shoe is made for. The Lightstrike Pro itself, combined with the energy rods, the carbon plate energy rods in this shoe, provide a very stiff and very responsive ride. The foam itself, it does have a little bit of squidge to it. It's not as squidgy as the New Balance Fuel Cell. It's not quite as sort of explosive and responsive as the Nike Vaporfly, but I think this shoe does like to put out a good level of energy return the more energy you put in. So if you're someone that puts a lot of energy into your stride, I think this is the shoe that's going to work best for you. It does work really well for me, being a heavier guy that is more into sort of like my stride type running with a lot of power into my stride. This foam then does really return the energy that you put into it combined with these plates. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 in terms of responsiveness. Now moving on to cushioning, this is different obviously to responsiveness. This is just how much the foam absorbs the impact and obviously how cushioned the ride feels. So as I said, it's not the softest foam in the world, but it's definitely a comfortable foam, and it's not too firm that it leaves your foot feeling sore or anything like that. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 in terms of cushioning. Plenty of stack there to forgive your feet, and I've done easy runs in these shoes as well, believe it or not, and they have felt fine in terms of just supporting the foot. And I'm not seeing any signs of wear at all or any creasing in this foam. It seems to be quite a durable foam, I think, from what I've seen from it so far. Even in the exposed areas, I mean, we're seeing a little bit of wear there, but after 72 miles, I don't think that's a lot at all. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 in terms of durability of the midsole. The biggest issue with this midsole is the stability. So I'm going to score this a 3 out of 5 in terms of stability. And that is because of this cutout here, this shoe is quite stable if you are someone that pronates or over pronates, because where the foam is a little bit slanted here, it wants you to do this as you run, basically. However, if you do tend to supinate or land on the outside of your foot a little bit, that's where the issues can come and the instability of it can come. And I find this quite a lot. So because it's quite heavy on this side, and on my right side of on my right foot, I tend to land quite a lot on the outside of my foot. Sometimes I can find an issue as I'm running, like this sort of happens here, and where it's quite sort of heavily biased towards this side, it can sort of roll in a little bit, and a couple of times I have gone down on my ankle quite painfully. So I've really had to work on how I run in this shoe. It's nothing to do with the right shoe being different, it's just how my gait cycle is on my right is different. Now I've noticed a lot of people having this issue, other people that tend to land a little bit more on the outside of their foot. So just bear that in mind. If you do land a little bit more on the outside of your foot, this may be quite unstable for you. People say, well, if it doesn't make you overpronate, then it's a stable shoe. Not at all. Because stability doesn't just mean pronation, does it? Stability means how stable overall the shoe is. So if it's causing me to do that, that's not stable. Stable means completely balanced. It might work well for a pronator. Not that I'm really into this overpronation type thing, as you guys know, but if you do have a tendency to do that, it's not going to cause an issue because it's, like I say, biased towards this side. Whereas you do tend to do that, it is going to cause an issue because it is very heavily biased towards this side with the cutout here. More of the weight on the foam is here. So yeah, just bear that in mind when you're going for this shoe. Now, in terms of outsole, we're going to just score this on the grip and the durability. So this has got continental rubber on it, a little bit more rubber than last year, which I found really, really grippy last year as well, to be fair, but we got grip in all the high wear areas. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 in terms of grip. It is absolutely phenomenal in all types of weather. Obviously, you're not going to be taking this off-road too much because it's a road racing shoe. In terms of durability, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. And that's just because in the toe-off area up here, after 72 miles, I am seeing some signs of wear, where it's pretty much worn that rubber off completely. Nothing yet so far in this area. But yeah, with that wear there, early signs of wear, not sure just how long this area here is going to last, but you know, it's still done 72 miles so far and no wear in the main worrying areas. In terms of fit for purpose, so this is a carbon plate racing shoe. How fit is this to be a carbon plate racing shoe? I would say extremely fit. Apart from the stability issues that I had in this shoe and that I am trying to work on. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's something that I do or should be working on, but if I do want to enjoy this shoe, I think that that's maybe something that I need to just do in this shoe. But in terms of fit for purpose, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It's just an extremely explosive ride. It is incredibly fun to run in. It really does like energy, so the more energy you put into this, the more it bounds you around and you're flying about. And it's a world record breaking shoe. It is a shoe that's always on the podiums in these big marathons. In terms of versatility, I'm talking about if you're just going to use this shoe for every type of run, how versatile is it? And I'm going to give that a 7 out of 10 because I have actually done easy runs in this shoe and it felt absolutely fine because of the cushioning. It's felt really, really good. It is a fairly cushioned ride. You really probably want to do your easy runs in this all the time, but it's got plenty of grip in there. So I think you can do pretty much any sort of run in this shoe. Intervals, tempo runs, long runs, easy runs. Obviously you just wouldn't do trail runs in this sort of thing. In terms of fun factor, we are talking about when you're running in this shoe, how much are you enjoying it? How much does it excite you? How much does that foam make you enjoy the ride? And do you finish that run with a smile, thinking, oh, that was so good, I really enjoyed that? Or do you think that foam was dead, boring, flat and horrible? Well, this is an incredibly fun foam for me. I just love that feeling of the Lightstrike Pro. It's that right balance of sort of responsive and firm, but also just a little bit squidgy and soft. It's hard to explain, but it is really a good combination. And I do always, despite any sort of issues with stability in this shoe, enjoy running in this shoe a lot, which is why it annoys me that I have them stability issues. But anyway, I'm gonna give this a 9.5 out of 10 in terms of fun factor, because it is just such a fun shoe to run in. So guys, that is my overall view of this shoe. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you have, again, please hit that like button. And if you've been watching this for the first time today, then please do consider subscribing for some shoe reviews and all those kind of things. And also, if you're a guy like me that is into weight training and also into running, we're here to show that you don't have to weigh next to nothing to be a runner. But if you do weigh next to nothing and you're a runner, that is absolutely fine as well. So as always, guys, I've been Running Man Sam. This has been a super duper shoe review, and I will see you guys in a bit.